So, you've definitely seen those viral cat videos on YouTube, right? They blow up like crazy, millions of views overnight, and it feels like anyone can post and instantly go viral. Sounds insane, but here's the catch. This niche got oversaturated super fast. But what if I told you there's something even bigger? Something new, and not only does it work, but it's working insanely well right now. Instead of just spamming shorts, some creators flipped the script. They took the same viral ideas and made them into long-form videos. And bro, the results are crazy. One creator started just 3 months ago, already sitting at 2 million subscribers and over 2 billion views. Another, barely 20 uploads, and each one hits a million views consistently. And there's even someone who started only last month and is already pulling hundreds of thousands of views per video. That's how powerful this niche is. And here's the best part. It's still not saturated. Why? Because most people think making these long-form videos is too complicated. Spoiler, it's actually not. In this video, I'm going to show you the exact blueprint, start to finish. 90% of the heavy lifting, AI handles it. And the remaining part, we'll edit manually so your content stays unique, monetizable, and safe. Now, the strategy boils down to a few key steps. The very first one, the most important, is nailing your viral concept. Because let's be real, no matter how fancy your video looks, if the idea itself is weak, it's game over. So here's where we add the twist. We'll use ChatGPT. Just tell it you want a 2-minute or longer YouTube video concept. Ask for 25 to 35 short scenes and explain the storyline you want. Boom, you've got a ready-to-use viral idea. And guess what? For the exact prompt I use, I've dropped it in my Telegram channel, linked below. Just grab it, paste it into ChatGPT, and you'll get a full breakdown of image prompts plus animation prompts. The cool thing? ChatGPT first gives you image prompts to generate your visuals, then animation prompts to turn them into short clips. Don't like the result? Rerun the prompt and you'll get a brand new concept instantly. Once you've got your list, it's time to actually build scenes. For that, we'll use a text-to-image tool to create visuals and then an image-to-video tool to animate them. Before we jump into AI tool to start creating our scenes, I want to give a quick shout out to today's sponsor, Corpy.ai. If you're a content creator, this tool is an absolute lifesaver. Corpy.ai lets you turn any text into a full-fledged video in just a few clicks. You can create memes, Reddit stories, Twitter threads, argument videos, quizzes, or even top 5 lists, all automatically. What's really amazing is how fast it is. You just paste your text, pick a style, and within minutes, you get a professional-looking video ready to use. I've personally tried it, and it really speeds up the workflow without compromising on quality. It's perfect if you're creating lots of content and want to save hours of editing time. Even if you're just starting out, Corpy.ai makes video creation super simple and intuitive, so you can focus on your ideas instead of spending endless hours on editing. And the best part? You can try it out right now at Corpy.ai/dashboard. I've dropped the link in the description below. They also have some really cool offers that make it easy for creators to get started. Honestly, it's one of those tools that once you start using, you'll wonder how you ever managed without it. All right, now that we've seen how Corpy.ai can make content creation easier, let's jump back into video and start bringing our video to life. And don't worry, I've already tested a ton of tools. That tool I use is called Magic Hour. It does both image generation and video animation. And best of all, almost 90% of its features are totally free. You can use a bunch of interesting options, including the AI image generator, which is exactly what we need right now. Now that we've got our prompts ready, it's time to bring our video to life using Magic Hour. This tool is amazing because it not only lets you generate images, but also turn them into videos. And most of its features are completely free, including the image to video function we'll be using. If you scroll down a bit, you'll see the template templates section, where many creators have shared templates they used. There are lots of interesting options here, and they're super easy to use. But since we're creating our video from scratch, click on the Create button at the top. This will take you to the main workspace. Here you'll see many features, but first we need to generate the images for each scene. Open the AI image generator. You'll also see some pre-made templates, but since we already have our own prompts, we'll use those. Step 1. Select your art style. There are multiple options, but for this video, we'll go with photo style for a clean, realistic look. Next, adjust the aspect ratio to 16:9, which is the standard video format. Then, choose how many images to generate per batch. I usually go with 4, so we have more options. Now it's time to paste your prompts. Go back to ChatGPT, copy the image prompt for the first scene, paste it into Magic Hour, and click Generate. The images will be ready in about 15 seconds. Super fast. Repeat the same for the second scene. Copy the second prompt, paste, and generate. Then do the same for the third scene. Keep going until you've generated images for all scenes. Once done, download one image from each batch. Next, we move on to turning these images into video clips. Go back to the Create section and open Image to Video. Upload the first image. There's an animation prompt section, but for simple scenes, you can skip it. Set the duration. Magic Hour allows up to 60 seconds per clip, but for most scenes, 5 seconds works great. Then select 1080p quality for the best results. Finally, click Render Video. The process can take up to 5 minutes, but usually it's ready in about 1. And just like that, your first video clip is ready. Repeat this process for all scenes, stitch them together, and you'll have a fully AI-generated original video ready to upload. Now that our first video is ready, you can see it's high quality, full of detail, and looks really realistic, exactly what we wanted. Next up, let's generate the second video. To do that, click on the Create Another button below. This will take you back to the Image to Video feature. For this video, start by uploading the image for your second scene. This time, we'll add a little extra spice using an animation prompt. Head back to ChatGPT, copy the animation prompt for this scene, then paste it into the prompt box in Magic Hour. Make sure all the other settings are the same as before. Set the quality to 1080p, keep the duration as needed, and click Render Video. The generation process is identical to the first video, and in just a minute or two, your video will be ready. Check it out. Now the cat is looking up and the camera slowly tilts upward, just like we instructed in our prompt. It looks smooth, realistic, and professional. Now that you know how to generate videos, repeat this process for all your images. To save time, I've already done that here. Once all your videos are generated, download each clip and then we'll move to the next step. The next step is adding background music and sound effects, which will make your video much more engaging. For this, we'll use a website called Pixabay. Open Pixabay, click on the music section, and in the search bar, type a mood or genre that fits your video. For example, type emotional to find emotional background tracks. Browse through the results, preview them, and once you find one that fits, click download. If you want more variety, repeat the process for a second track. For instance, search for dramatic to add tension or excitement. Preview, select, and download the track that best fits your scenes. Now, let's get some sound effects. At the top of Pixabay, use the filter to select sound effects. Since our video features a cat, search for cat sounds. You'll see all the matching results. Choose a few that match the actions in your video and download them. Repeat this for all scenes. Pay attention to what's happening in each clip and find sound effects that match those specific moments. This step is straightforward, but it makes a huge difference in engagement. Once you've got all your video clips, music tracks, and sound effects, it's time to edit the final video. We'll be using CapCut for this. Once you've opened CapCut and imported all your clips, music tracks, and sound effects, you're ready to start editing. Watch closely as we go through the process step by step. First, select all your imported video clips and drag them down into the editing timeline. Make sure they're in the correct order according to your storyboard or script. Now comes a very important step, trimming your clips. For most scenes, you'll want to cut them down to around 3 seconds each, but adjust depending on the action in the scene. If a clip stays too long, your video can start to feel slow or repetitive, and that kills engagement. Trimming properly keeps the video fast-paced, exciting, and smooth. This step is pretty simple, and to save time, I've already trimmed my clips. After trimming, your timeline should look neat and organized, with each clip flowing seamlessly into the next. Next, check for any scenes that might need fine adjustments. For example, cutting out small pauses or extra frames where nothing happens. This ensures your video maintains energy from start to finish. After trimming, you'll add your background music. Drag the music track down into the timeline and line it up with your video clips. Make sure the volume isn't too high so it doesn't overpower the visuals, but loud enough to enhance the mood. Finally, add your sound effects. Place them carefully where the action happens. For example, a cat meowing, a jump, or any dramatic moment. This adds a professional touch and makes your video feel alive. Once everything is in place, trimmed clips, synced music, and sound effects, preview the entire video. Check that the pacing feels right, the transitions are smooth, and the overall video is engaging. And just like that, your timeline is ready and you've successfully set up the foundation for your final polished video. Now that all your scenes are trimmed and ready, it's time to add the first background music track. Start by selecting your initial track and drag it right beneath your video clips in the timeline. If there's any empty space at the start of the track, trim it off so it starts clean. Next, go to the settings on the right and reduce the volume to around -10. This way the music won't overpower your sound effects. Now, let's create a cool transition moment. For example, say we want the cat to go from a poor scene to a rich scene. First, cut the background track exactly where this transition begins. Then, in the settings panel, apply a 2-second fade out to the first track. To make this transition feel more impactful, we'll add a sound effect at the start. In this case, I'm using a car starting sound. Drag it right at the beginning of the transition scene, trim it to match the length, and apply a 2-second fade out to keep it smooth. Next, we'll add a new background track that starts exactly where the sound effect ends. Again, lower the volume to around -10 and apply a 2-second fade in so it blends seamlessly with the previous sound effect. Just like that, your transition is almost complete and it already looks much better. To finish it off, open the transitions menu at the top. You can pick any free transition you like, but I'll go with a white flash transition because it suits this kind of dramatic moment perfectly. Drag it between the two clips and the transition now looks clean and professional. After that, scroll to the end of your timeline, trim your final background track to match the video length, and add a 2-second fade out to wrap it up nicely. Now your video is ready for sound effects. Start with the first scene. For example, a sad cat sitting beside a trash can. Drag in a cat meow sound effect that matches the mood. For the next scene, where the cat walks through the streets, add an urban street ambiance to fit the setting. Trim it to the scene's length and apply a 1-second fade out so it ends smoothly before the next clip. To show you another example, in the third scene, the cat is now near a supercar. Drag a supercar engine sound to the timeline below the scene. Lower the volume slightly to -3, trim it to the scene's length, and apply a 1-second fade out. By now, you should have a clear idea of how adding sound effects works. To save time, I've already added all the necessary sound effects for each scene. If you look at my timeline, the final result should look polished and ready. Now, let's move on to the final touches. Start by selecting all the video clips in your timeline. Right-click on them and choose Create Compound Clip. This will merge all of your individual clips into a single unified section, making the editing process much cleaner. Once your compound clip is ready, head over to the animation menu on the right. Under In Animations, apply a fade in effect, and then switch to Out Animations and apply a fade out. This gives your video a smooth start and finish. And just like that, your video is officially complete. The last step is to export it. Click the export button at the top. Since all your clips and assets are in 1080p, make sure to select 1080p resolution in the settings to maintain maximum quality. After that, just hit export, and your fully polished professional video is ready to upload. After that, make sure to adjust the frame rate to 60 frames per second. This will give your video a much smoother and more professional look. Once you've confirmed all the settings, click the export button and let the program process your video. And just like that, your video will be fully exported and ready to view. Now let's take a quick look at the finished result. Wow! Even though this isn't the full-length video yet, you can clearly see that it's high quality, visually appealing, and well-paced. It has a clear story, strong imagery, and everything flows nicely. I've walked you through the complete process of creating videos like this, but the rest is in your hands. Remember, making videos like these takes dedication, effort, and consistent practice, especially if you want your content to stand out. Keep experimenting, stay persistent, and over time, you'll begin to see real results. Keep pushing forward, stay consistent, and I'll catch you in the next tutorial.